What's up everyone, Josh Rzepka here, and today I would like to talk about creating a practice routine that is going to set you up for long-term success. So many of us, we just pick up our horn and we play, and we don't really have a strategy. We don't really have any goals that we're working towards. And this is going to help you create some structure and hopefully create a practice session that is going to be more beneficial for you and something that will help you reach your goals faster. As soon as I started thinking about my practice routines like this, I really started making a lot of progress. The first thing always is going to be the warm-up. We need to warm up. It is so important, right? An athlete, they got to stretch, they got to do their warm-ups. We have to do warm-ups too. It's going to keep us from injuring ourselves, and it's going to really help our day-to-day. It's going to help us feel more consistent and play more consistent, and it's just going to make our lives easier. Now, the second part is the fundamentals. This is the meat and potatoes of our playing. All right, this is where we take all the techniques that we need in order to perform the music that we are playing, or the music that we want to be playing, and we refine our technical capabilities so that we can approach music and not focus and worry about the technique. We can just get into the music. And that brings us to the third part of the practice session, and that is the music. That is when we are working on everything for orchestra, for big band, whether we're working on etudes or solos, transcriptions, you name it. That is the part where we really focus on the musical aspect. We're not just learning the music from a technical sense. We really need to be focusing on the music from a musical sense. So this part of the practice session might also include listening or score study. Just because we aren't playing on the horn doesn't mean that we're not practicing. It doesn't mean that we're not learning and getting better. All right, so I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into each of these three sections to really try and flesh it out and help you out so that you can start creating a better practice session for yourself. I am a very firm believer in warming up every day, and I actually do just about the same warm-up every day. I really find that that helps my consistency, but you've got to find what works best for you. As far as warm-ups are concerned, there's a couple books that I go to that I love. I do the Stamp warm-up, Jimmy Stamp, if you are not familiar with that. Maybe I'll make another video at some point about the Stamp warm-up. That would be an entire video, it would be pretty long. But there are some great resources online that you can find about that. Here is what the Stamp book looks like. Check this out. Here it is. This is my book is, well, the pages are coming off because I've been using it for so many years. And this is a great book, and he really deals with buzzing, with lip buzzing, with mouthpiece buzzing. But really, to me, Stamp, at the core of it, is about finding balance, all right? A balance between your air and your lips, and really learning how to play with just the right amount of effort. And that's what I really get out of Stamp. And a lot of people, they've got strong opinions about buzzing. That's totally fine. It works for so many players, and a lot of players it doesn't work for, but for me, I find it to be essential. Now, let me talk about Michael Sack's Daily Fundamentals for the Trumpet. He has so much great information here. I am opening up to page 39 in this book, and check this out. Suggested warm-up sequences. All right, he's broken it down. 20 minutes or less, 25 to 30 minutes, 40 to 45 minutes, 60 minutes. Your warm-up goes until you feel ready that you can play. Now, so many people, they warm up and they warm up and they warm up. If it feels like you could play just about anything, then you're warmed up. This Michael Sack's book is so great. I cannot recommend this enough. I do a lot of my warm-up every day out of this book. Once you get to technical studies, there are so many books. It is basically endless, and I can't start to recommend all of them because there are too many. Now, regardless of what books you're playing out of, it is essential that you balance your practice with your daily playing requirements, all right? If you are a lead trumpet player and you're playing high notes all day, well, you want to balance that practice session so that you are playing low and soft. You want to balance from the opposite side, all right? Make sure that whatever it is that you're doing in your ensemble work, in your professional playing, that you balance it in your practice session. Otherwise, you're going to get a little lopsided with your playing. And this is what happens with so many people when they go on the road. And it's something that a lot of people refer to as road chops. Road chops is when you're doing the same thing, you're doing the same show every single night, and you're warming up, but maybe you don't have that much time to practice. And because of that, your playing is just getting more, kind of in this groove. You're getting like ingrained in this one style of playing, and the other parts of your playing start to get deficient. And what ends up happening is the road chops start to deteriorate. And what was so easy for them day to day suddenly starts to get a little more difficult because they didn't realize that all these other aspects of technique, all of these things that they weren't playing, actually were helping to support the things that they needed to do for their job. That's why it's so important to create balance. When we are practicing, when we are doing our technical studies, we want to create balance and make sure that we are balancing high with low, fast with slow, loud with soft, legato and slurred lyrical playing with stuff that's shorter and more precise. It is just going to help our playing so much, and we will only benefit from organizing and structuring our practice session in that way. An added benefit is when you are called out of the blue for that gig that is totally different from what you had been playing, you're ready. You can just pick up the phone or answer the email and say, yep, I can do it, I'm ready, I'm available. Now the third part is the music, and this is the most important part, right? No one wants to listen to a machine, they want to hear a musician. And this is anything you're working on for school, anything you're working on with your lessons, for a recital, maybe you are working on an album. This is where you work on all of your etudes. One of my very favorite etude books right here, of course, is the Charlier. This is such a great book. Right now, if you haven't checked it out yet, Hook and Hardenberger is doing all these Charlier solos. It is incredible. Go check out his channel. He's recording a new one, not every week. He started doing it every week in the beginning of lockdown. I think he's up to number 17 or 18 now, and it is really incredible. So the music, this is when you are just working on everything that is not a warm-up and that is not a technical study. Now, sometimes we are going to get a piece of music that, well, we're going to have some technical issues with it, all right? And that's not to say that you can't work on technique in that music segment, but if you come across a piece of music that has got some technical aspects that you are having difficulty dealing with and difficulty playing, figure out what it is technique-wise that you need to work on, and then incorporate that into your technical section of practice, all right? Find some exercises, go through your Arbin's book, go through your St. Jacome, go through all your different method books, or create your own exercise that incorporates aspects of that piece so that you can really just work on that technique, so that when you then get to that music segment of your practice session, you can really focus on that piece without having to really worry about the technique, because you will have practiced it and you will have mastered it then. There's nothing that interrupts the flow of music more than thinking about technique. Now, one other very important thing to add here in your practice session, and this is in your warm-up, in the technical aspect and the musical aspect, you've got to rest. You need to incorporate rests into your practice. One way that I just love, this came from Roy Popper at Oberlin. He would always say 20 on, 10 off, all right? 20 minutes playing, 10 minutes rest. And during that 10 minutes rest, you don't have to jump on Instagram. You don't have to jump on Facebook or TikTok or whatever. You can take the score out and you can study it. You can mark your music. You can figure out where you're going to breathe. You can listen to recordings. There is a lot you can do actively during your rest that is going to help you, and it's just going to allow you to really learn and know that music at a deeper level. But 20 minutes on the horn, 10 minutes off. If you follow that, you can play for hours. You can play for hours and hours and hours, because you're not going to be killing yourself. You're not smashing the horn in your face endlessly. We don't want to practice until we are exhausted and our chops feel like dirt, because the next day we're going to just have to work all that much harder to try and get ourselves back to a place where things feel all right. So don't overdo it. In the long run, that is not the best way to build up your strength and to really grow and grow as a player. Steady progress is really the name of the game. And that is what, at least for me, really works the best, and it is what has allowed me to work as a professional trumpet player. All right, I hope that all of this was helpful for you. I hope that it gives you a new way to think about organizing and creating your practice session. Spend 10 or 15 minutes and write it down. Write down what you're going to do, what you're going to work on in your warm-up. If you're going to do buzzing, if you're going to do breathing exercises, long tones, lip slurs, what are you doing in your warm-up? And then write down what you need to accomplish from a technical standpoint, and then get your music organized. The more organized your practice session is, the greater benefit you're going to get from it. The more progress you're going to make. You're not going to be wasting your time None of us have got extra time, so we really want to make sure that we are efficient with our practice session. Well, that's all I've got for you today. I will see you on Monday with Mute Monday. This coming Mute Monday, I will be playing and talking about cup mutes from the Harman Mute Company. I've got 4 great cup mutes. 2 of them are vintage. One is from, I believe, the 1930s, another from the 1940s, and then there are 2 new ones, so you are not going to want to miss that. These are great mutes, and I think you're really going to be surprised about these new mutes that Harman is making. All right, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and then that subscribe button. It really makes a very big difference. I want to thank you for watching today, and I will see you in the next video.